how we can capture and visualize what is. And what we're going to have a look at now is, once we know what is, once something's been built, once it's in operations, what are the systems and tools available to us through technology to help us use information for decision making, for management, and essentially getting the most value out of the assets that we have. So I'm going to hand over to Rudolf to take us through how this might look for a facility like the university.
Yes, thank you, everybody. Yeah, it's me again. You've seen me yesterday, and some of you visited us yesterday in the basement, and you also played that Jugi game. So I think we had a fun time doing that. I think what I want to link on what Louis said about this place of where we've got everything collected and everything stored in kind of accessibility of all this information. So what I want to show is similar to what I showed yesterday of University of Stellenbosch that we did. It's kind of a platform where you can have access to all these different applications. It may not sit in the same cloud, it may not sit in the same service, but this is a place where we can collaborate and we can bring everything together. So we created this kind of just an interface, and this is using the ESRI's Experience Builder software. The university has access to that the software, and please have a look at it and contact us if you want more information to the type of things we want to do. So as you can see here, we're not managing all the different stages that we did. We just decided to use plan, design, build, and operate. The building part, the construction part, Louis looked at quite extensively, so I'm not going to go into that detail. I just want to show you some of the examples. So just as a bit of information, still not clicking. So you should see little, let me just.
Sorry, just move this side a bit. There we go. Okay, so you'll see little handprints. So there we go.
Okay. Nee, ek het hierso kyk, is reg. So there you go. Okay. Okay, so this is just a little intro information. So as part of this platform, this application, you can build all these kind of info buttons and info things, and you can see you can build a little bit of animation in, so it can be really interactive and informative as we use this. Have I gone out again? There we go. Okay, so the first thing we want to look at is, it's a bit sticky. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so first thing we're looking at is just from a planning point of view, where's the campus? What is around the campus? So we can see here, when I look at the legend, you can see the different parts of the campus, and also I can make a 3D view of it, so we can see all the different facilities, the road infrastructure, the non-motorized transport, all the information, the movement network, everything that is being collected around the campus. And furthermore, we can also bring in all the buildings. Now, these buildings was done by the municipality, by Tshwane Metro, through LiDAR. And you can see there that we can see the buildings. There's the Bouwkunde building as well, and all the other amenities, parking areas, and carports, and everything around it. Also some electrical information like transformers, substations, and so forth. So all this information gives a planner a good idea of what is around the building, what is at the building, and so forth. But sometimes you need more information related to what the municipality is planning. So what we can see here, I've integrated with the city's spatial development framework, spatial development plan. So I'm just going to click on that. It will load then the MSDF, the Metro Spatial Development Framework, and it's going to hopefully load soon. This is a live link to the Metro's data set. They're also running on the ESRI platform. So you can see here the different color codings is different spatial development frameworks, and there's the legend on the side there. I can also view that in a 3D view, and we can see that these blue lines indicate the educational land use. and then all the other different types of land use. So immediately I can see what is around, what am I planning. Furthermore, we can look into the road plan for the metro. So there's definitely different roads that are being planned, refurbished, resurfaced, and those kind of things are part of the municipality's plan. And we can overlay that on the view as well. So we can see the integration here. So other things like Department of Environmental Affairs, if we want to do an environmental impact assessment, that information come through as well. So this is a kind of an entry portal into all this kind of information. So further, we can also bring in the Chief Surveyor General's data. We can see here these green lines. It's not coming through too much, but the green lines are all the different property boundaries. So there we can get at least the SG number, so we know what the Chief Surveyor General number is. We won't be able to see any ownership data because that's at the deeds office. Hopefully in the future we'll be able to bring that in as well. So you can with one click see property, size of property, ownership, valuation, all those kind of things will be able to be visualized in this one view. You can see here we've got different color coding, farms, portions, holdings, public places, urban, streets, there's even some servitudes. Everything's available at different scale levels. As you zoom in and out, they'll be superimposed on your map. And you can use that for planning as well. Especially if you want to see new developments, conversion of informal settlements to formal settlements, you want to see where the movements are. And if it's in line with the spatial development plan of the municipality. Okay. So the next part is linking on what Louis also presented. So we're just showing that I can bring in that same view of that scan into this interface. So quite easy, we're able to then navigate. And as the scan refreshes, you'll see the more detail coming through. And I can click to different views. I can interrogate the data. I'm not going to do that at all. Louis showed much more than I was going to show. But I just wanted to show the integration, that we can show everything. It's the same data. So if he updates that model, I will see the changes here. And I can also bring in all the other information that I showed in the previous slide, overlay everything on top of it. Okay. Okay. So I just want to get my bearings here. Yes. Okay, so looking at design, this is where we not going to go in detail about BIM again. I'm just going to show you again how you can bring in your BIM model. So here again we see the different information. I can then go a bit closer to the bulk in the building. Come on, getting there. There we go. And then I can switch over to my BIM model. And again, this is all within the same environment. And now when I go over to the construction phase, I can show the different construction phases and see what the progress is of the project and be able to then report on everything as everything goes along. Okay? So that is part of the BIM integration visualization as well. So I'll go back. I'm not going to go into the construction bit. I think you guys are all up to speed with the construction. It's basically just be able to visualize the changes over time, the stages, and Louis also addressed that. So the last part is looking at operations. Just getting stuck a bit. Just trying to get the mouse moving. There we go. Okay, so one of the first things we want to do is to be able to maintain our assets, maintain the building and everything we spoke about. And we now show here a dashboard where we can go and assign work to either scheduled maintenance or unscheduled maintenance. Now we can assign different work orders to your facilities management system, your asset management system, be integrated to this. We'll be able to see where my field workers are, how many assignments they have, and we're able to assign them to the specific thing that they have to fix. There's a cable being vandalized there. We want to go and fix it. So we assign the technician. He will go there. He will use a mobile application. It's going to go there. A mobile application called Workforce to be assigned. He goes directly to the location. He gets even a route capability to route, even on the campus, you'll be able to route the technician on the campus. And then as soon as he arrives at that broken transformer or a Wi-Fi router, you will then fill in a form which says, this is what I've seen here, this is what I corrected, also do a quick asset condition assessment. What is the status? Give a bit of an assessment, take some pictures, and sign off. You can also have a supervisor sign off as well. And as soon as that is finished, then we have a maintenance view of how many things have we fixed over time, where are the problem areas. You can also see hotspots of deteriorating infrastructure, and things are starting to break. And you can also do cost assessments and see how much money we need to spend to fix things. So just things that the students that yesterday participated in the scavenger hunt, this is what they saw on the ground. So there's a transformer. Just want to go there. And also I think there's a fire hydrant. Okay, so I'm going to see, there's the fire hydrant. Okay. And then they collected information, played around with the applications, the field map applications. So this is kind of a way in which operations can be managed, field workers' operations, and we can monitor things in the field. This interface also allows us to be expanded. This is just a framework that can be added, information can be added, and at the bottom I've just created some placeholders. So some of the placeholders is work that Khaled has already done, and I just want to open that. You can see the quick access to these dashboards. You can also create other menu interfaces in this to access more information. So as I zoom in, you'll see the chart updates. So we can see the age of the buildings as it changes, as I go closer to a specific building. Then other, on the wrong one again, sorry. There we go. And there's another dashboard that can show us some information. So it's a nice way of bringing everything together. And you can have public-facing parts to this interface, and you can have private and collaboration between vendors and between people. So with that in mind, I just want to maybe say thank you for this opportunity. I think it was a great idea.
So great. Rudolph did a half of the job I was supposed to finish this year. Who was in first? Is any first years here? Any first years in the room? Do you guys remember the building mapping you did? Do you see how it's coming together? Right? Was it difficult to do that? Oh, shame. A lot of walking, huh? Do you see? 3 hours. I want to give you a bit of scale and context. Let's start with last year. Who was in honors last year with me in the drone flying situation with Richard? Who was there with me on the roof? Nobody in this room. Oh, that sucks. Okay, so last year we did that campus map, right? The 3D campus flight that we saw. It took us 2 hours. We were done, all in, 3 hours, because we had coffee too. We were done in 3 hours with the entire campus photogrammetry. And then overnight, these two guys processed it, and by Friday we were done. For the building assessment, what is the building stock that the first years did, it took them 3 hours. And they were done with 20 square kilometers. For honors, waste systems in urban strategy, 2 days, we were done with all the waste systems mapping with 15 students in 25 square kilometers. Are you guys seeing how it works to work together? And how quickly you can do it if you figure out intention, how quickly you can do it if you figure out workflow, when information is good enough to make decisions come about. That's what we need to do, right? And down the line, we get technical and perfect. I thought it's important. The other thing that's super important is none of this is copied and pasted. Not a single thing you saw is a copy and paste. It's a link to a source. We don't copy. If you're copying and pasting, you're doing something wrong. You see where we're going with this 4IR stuff. If you're copying and pasting, you're doing something wrong. If you're not integrating, you're doing something wrong. Stop doing the wrong things.